Okay, hello, welcome back to Tracking Networth with Yappy. So I'm back in the Netherlands. I've been in Aruba for like 3 months and it's time to come back. My parents have arrived essentially to take over the management of the complex there, and I had to go back to sign documents for the BV, like the company restructure I'm doing. I had to be there in person for some reason. Now I'm a director, I suppose. I've spent a lot of money, as you can see, as you will see soon this month. First of all, I was like taking out a girl. I guess it was, we didn't really call it dates. I guess you don't do that in Western culture. You just like see each other around or whatever. But yeah, it was essentially that. But she didn't have any money and I wanted to party, so yeah, I bought all the drinks and whatever. But that's fine, you know. I have some money to spend, so whatever. And then like another thing I did is I took like kite lessons, and that you cannot see this yet on the income statement, but this also cost quite a bit of money. But so essentially, like I lived in Aruba a little bit. I was there and did some of the Aruban things to do, right? That's completely fine, I guess, for a month. But yeah, I looked at it for a bit, and then I realized that actually I felt bad about all the expenses I made there. But the biggest expense actually came from just doing investments in the house I have there. So I have the Airbnb rental in Aruba, and I had to like repair a shower, so I did that. But at the time there, I realized that the reason my property manager wasn't actually be able to receive guests on the same day as they leave is because of the lack of bed sheets. And I just decided like, okay, well, if we just buy a bit more bed sheets, then we can actually, you know, increase revenue by like 10%. So that's like 200 euros a month or something. And the bed sheet costs like 1400, 1500 euros. Like it's expensive in Aruba. I also went to an expensive shop. I shouldn't have gone to the expensive shop, but I did. And yeah, I paid probably a bit too much for that, but we got good bed sheets now, and we can receive guests and send them away on the same day, which is amazing. So this should pay itself back eventually. And yeah, the shower renovations I did, they were like I have still one bill to receive for that, but they are done now. And what this does is having hot water in one of the showers there, because one of the knobs was broken. So there was essentially like a shower within the wall. It was like built in, which is actually quite luxurious, but it's difficult to replace if the mixing mechanism breaks, and it breaks all the time because it has moving parts. So we moved that outside of the wall and just put it on top of it. It actually doesn't look that bad, but it looks good actually. It looks better now than it was before, because we also have like different tiling now, and it's actually quite nicely integrated. So I'm like really happy how that went. And now also the hot water is working again. So this is like one of 3 showers. 2 of them already broke and 2 of them I fixed. And the third one is still like built in, which is like the luxurious one. Except I think most people don't even notice this kind of stuff. But yeah, it looks really fancy if somebody tells you about it. Anyway, I try to keep that upgrade as cheap as possible, because these bathrooms, they need a bigger update in the future. But yeah, so I just kept it like low cost. I think I spent maybe like 2,500 euros on that in total. I have one more bill to receive, and then I know how much it cost. But yeah. Anyway, let's go into the finance so y'all can see. We move to the other scene now. Yeah, and so the income of Yappy software. So I've been, working all month again, full time, and I received payment from Yappy software, of course, and I also received payment from the Aruba company, because I have like some running software as a service stuff. It's like a marketing platform essentially, and that gave me like 750 euros. I should like focus on that a bit more as well, but I want to finish rounding off the Aruba stuff first. Yeah, so like for context, I am setting up a rental website so people can book directly, and they don't have to go through Airbnb, which saves me like 17% income. And I'm like focusing on Aruba so much I'm focusing on this rental stuff so much because I've seen it work, and it's just like, it justifies me doing more effort into it. The business expenses were 270 euros. I just like counted up all the various expenses I had that were tracked on N26. And then taxes came in quite high because income was quite high. So it's 4,000. This is my guess of taxes. Actually, it probably will be lower because of the BV restructure, but I have to redo these numbers essentially once I know it, I guess. Yeah, this is my guess. So this is the Airbnb income, and the Airbnb income has been abysmal because in September nobody books Aruba rentals. And what I did is essentially move into the rental and just do the renovations myself. And if people are not going to book again next year in September, I'm just going to do the same thing. And the other thing Airbnb is so low is because this house, normally I also rent out like a room or two. And this also gives me like 1,000 extra in income. But yeah, this has been empty because I had some issues with the cleaner, which it gives me another to-do of like getting another cleaner. I should place an ad for that actually. I don't know if I can do this week because next week I have to go away. So I'm probably gonna do this like after I'm back. Yeah, like the current cleaner is fine. So the manager cost, it came in quite high, and it's just because there's like a lot of cleaning to do, and I lowered the price of the rentals as well in September, and I'm not gonna do this again, but I lowered it to like 80 euros or something, and people booked it for that. It's just too cheap, and you don't get a lot of income, and it's a lot of cleaning cost, and yeah, it's just bad. I should have used that time to do more upgrades, but there you go. So the running cost, I just recorded it in the flooring, and it came in at like 1,000 euros. I think it's a bit higher because I got various bank fees in, but yeah. Also, the other reason I think it's higher now is because I got a proper gardener. I don't know if I got it in last month, but there you go. And then living expenses, as you can see, this is quite high, 600 euros higher than last month. And the reason for that is, of course, the going out. Yeah, and this actually should be 400 euros higher even because I spent money on the kite lessons as well. But yeah, this makes me a bit anxious. It's like 2,500 euros. It's a bit too high for me, you know. I'm like afraid of lifestyle inflation essentially. However, I think next month they should be a lot lower because I stay in the Netherlands, and Netherlands it's just cheaper to live here. I think some other bills also came in. Here I remember now the running costs are higher because I got one of the quarterly land taxes in Aruba, but I count the land taxes in Aruba just as like running costs. I could like actually neglect to pay them and they wouldn't even come after me, but if you sell the house, then they come after you, and I don't want to deal with that. So I just pay everything on time. And debt payments is the same as last month. That's fine. Other, right? These are the 2,500 euros of investments I made, and this will probably go 1,000 higher because I haven't paid the contractor yet that who actually did all the work. I just bought all the stuff and put it there. I think it's like 1,500 euros of stuff I bought. And then, yeah, the contractor hasn't sent me a bill yet. It takes a while there. Like they have to do their processing and whatever. Okay, so the remainder ends up being like 300 euros. And I'm a bit sad about that. You know, I spent a month working and there's only 300 euros left. But I have to keep in mind that this 2,700 euros is... I mean, we can expect the Airbnb income to go up a little bit, and we can also, because we fixed the house, then we know for sure that people will not complain about not having hot water. And like hot water actually is not that big of a deal in Aruba because the cold water is not really cold; it's like medium. You can just stand under it. It's fine. It's fine. Even I can stand under it, even though I'm like severely afraid of cold water. Yeah. Okay, so net income is like 7,500. The business income is like 11,500. So that's like minus expenses. And the netto income from Airbnb is actually like 350 euros, you know. So that's, yeah. Because we had the taxes this month and we didn't open up in Netherlands. We have like a really bad month for Airbnb, and I had more expenses because, you know, I was in Aruba last month and just I want to like do everything. So yeah, it's not a good month for income, I guess. Fortunately, I have like savings, so it's fine. Anyway, let's go to assets and liabilities. So, you know, we're in this new month. The cash is the same. I spent all the money I have in Aruban florins. I spent all the dollars I had. I think I gave it actually to my parents, like the last $10 or something. Yeah, it's, you know, I had $10 left and I gave it away. And then I have like the checking account in ING. Alright, so I closed this account now. I made the formal request and they're gonna close this. Unfortunately, because I do the company restructure BV, I have to open 2 more bank accounts. So I just managed to close this private account, and yeah, my situation is gonna become more complex again. But it should save me thousands upon thousands of euros in taxes. Well, it doesn't even save me that. It doesn't really save me. It like delays the taxes, which is also good. I'll keep access to the money, which should help me a lot actually. But yeah, there you go. 6,000 euros on my checking account. So there's probably gonna be 500 euros left because I still have to. Actually, 1,500 euros less because I still have to pay my credit card, and I put a bunch of stuff on credit card. But yeah, it should still be positive, so that's fine. You can see the CMB account dropping like crazy. This is because I made all these expenses in for house improvement, and I also spent quite a bit of money from personal stuff on the CMB account because it's, you know, Aruban. And then the Trade Republic, this is just the emergency fund I have, and I have not touched it, so it's just going up with interest rates. I get interest every month, so that's fine. And then the N26 business account, this is just like slowly growing because I'm not actually using it because I don't know what I can do with it yet. As far as I can tell, I probably should open the BV bank account as soon as possible, and then I'll move all this money over to that. And I probably can close this account as well, which would be good. I'm just like closing all these accounts because I want to simplify essentially as much as possible and keep better overview. As you see, it's quite complicated to track all of this stuff, and I want to simplify. So interactive brokers went down a little bit. I don't know why, but there you go. We should hide this. Hide the column. So this is the stocks from Bing. There's nothing on there. And this is a pension account. So this has grown with 300 euros. And we also see that the flex pension has grown a little bit. And then the share supersede, well, they don't do anything. So let's go to the right. The house I have is, you know, same. It's gonna be recalculated in the new year. And this house, it doesn't change. Well, you know, it changes with florin calculation, but yeah. So I guess one good aspect is that Aruban florin is really cheap, so all the expenses in florin are also good. These are the upgrades. That's fine. So student debts is the same. I couldn't log in, so whatever. It's probably gone up by like 2 euros again or something. 10 euros, I don't know. Deferred tax. So this is like the taxes I have to pay eventually. It's just going up 3,000 every month because I just guess how much is going up. Yeah, so I can show this in another video probably, but my accountants have shown me documents that I have to pay around 21,000 in total in taxes for income. So this is going up too fast. I should probably make it 2,000 instead of 3,000. But I also have to pay like corporate tax as well, and I don't know how much it will be, but we'll see. It's fine estimate. So this is the deferred money I have to pay on my pension. This is just eventually I'll like cash out my pension and like live from it once I'm like 67 years old or something. And this is just to take into account that I haven't paid taxes over it yet. Yeah, I'm gonna probably do something similar for my business accounts. I don't know yet. This is the mortgage from ING. So, you know, this house has a mortgage, and that's this value. It's just going down slowly every month. Just make minimum payments. This is the mortgage on the house in Aruba, and this as well. So there are 2 mortgages. I probably can add these together, but yeah, as you can see, we crossed the 40,000 mark here, which is good. And my plan still is to save up a bunch of money in N26. Ooh, let's see, this large chunk of money. I first want to make sure I have enough money for income tax, and then I just emit a bunch of dividend to pay off one of these mortgages. And then I don't have to deal with one of them anymore. So this is like 750 euros a month is going to it, which is, you know, I'm paying more money on mortgages than I usually pay on like living expenses. So that's like, you know, it will make like a big difference if I can get rid of one of those. And yeah, the credit card. So what happened is that I paid for kite classes for myself, and then my sisters couldn't pay because, you know, we're in Aruba and their bank cards didn't work, so I paid for them, and they instantly pay me the money back. So it's already on the account, so it's fine. I shouldn't silly, but yeah, this is still gonna hit account later. Yeah. So what I do with credit card is I pay it down every month, but this is quite a lot. I've never had so much credit card debt. It makes me a little bit anxious, but it should be fine. Because I have this debt, I also don't want to send money over to Aruba, because actually what I want to do is put more money on CMB again, because this is getting low. It costs around, you know, 900 euros every month to just keep the property running, and I'm just afraid it's gonna hit zero before that. But yeah, I have to wait essentially until I have some bit more money on checking account to do that. It should be fine though. Like, I don't feel this is an emergency yet, so I haven't touched the emergency fund at all. Actually, so one thing to keep in mind is that the emergency, right, so the emergency fund account, this is actually too low. I still need to recover this, because the debt payments are so high, and I don't know how to get the money out from my business account into my private account. Yeah, so what I want to do first is just, well, okay, so first of all, we need to make sure that the business has enough money to keep operating for 6 months, right? This is probably enough. I think the amount of money it has to pay out is like 39k every year, I mean. So it should have half of 39k, which is, well, 20, you know, it's like 1905. So this should have 1905. Then we want to essentially send the remainder over to like these private accounts. However, that has to be taxed before doing that because I have PV. And then I need to look at the expenses I have, which is why this is quite useful actually to do, to make sure that, yeah, let's see, where's the expense, living expenses. So I need to, like, you know, average this out over 6 months probably, and then I can use this to, well, I average it out over 6 months, and then I use like, well, I just sum it up to 6 months, and that's my emergency fund. Like, that's how much I want to have in my private emergency fund. So I have, like, you know, the business emergency fund, so it's like 6 months, and then I have like my private emergency fund, so it's like 6 months. And because I have like a business emergency fund, if I don't get a contract for a while, it's not like I have to stop paying myself out. Like, everything is fine. I have 6 months to find another contract. And if I have a private emergency, I can just like fix it privately, and I don't have to like change the payment things privately. But it's like really difficult to do this right now because I have to set up these like low payments. I wanna have like my income being lower so that I can avoid income tax. But I have these high debt payments, so I have to deal with this. It's like, yeah, it's a bit of a rough spot to be in. Anyway, so aside that rent, I have 634,919 euros in assets. And this is excluding like all the improvements I made to the property, which is I didn't take this into account at all because it's essentially like depreciation, and we should see the income should go up eventually. It won't go up a lot initially, but yeah, it should go up eventually. Oh, another thing I did is like have better pictures, so I should just have more sales because of that, and at a higher price hopefully. We should maybe we are able to compare it, you know, from 2024, which is mostly the sales are already done, to 2025 eventually, to see if the pictures had any effect. I think they will, because they look a lot better, like a lot more light, which is good. My liabilities have grown up. I think it's mostly because of the credit card. Oh, and the other reason it's gone up is because of deferred taxes. I still have to pay tax, and I put it on the balance sheet. So, yeah. My debt ratio essentially made the same because, you know, we barely have any difference in net worth. Quick cash has gone up a lot, which is good, I guess. Liquid assets has also gone up. and the amount of money in bricks has gone down because the value of your start. So the house in Aruba went down because of currency bullshit. Mortgages, yeah, so the mortgages are going down because, you know, I'm paying them down with the minimum payments. And this is like how much I own of the houses, I guess both of them. And this is my net worth without, without what? Without brick. Oh, right, if we remove the bricks completely. And this is without my primary house, so this is like, you know, sellable stuff. Actually, like, you know, if you look at it, I added that column because if you look at it, then you see that a lot of my net worth is essentially just the house I live in. Yeah, and I put a massive liability on that, 150,000. So yeah, this is a big risk essentially, even though it's not the low rate. The low rate is good. Okay, so high yield debt has gone up a little bit. Which is because of the credit card mostly. So the credit card went up with the amount I paid down in the mortgages, but next month it should be gone again. So it should drop down by like probably 1,500, so like probably 3,000. So it should be 89,000 by then. However, the percentage of total liabilities has gone down a little bit because we have the deferred income tax building up anyway. So, you know, this is how it feels to go sideways, even though we had this amazing month before. Now we have like a really bad month. And this is how it goes, right? So sometimes some months you make like a lot of progress and in other months like nothing happens. That's fine. I mean, I feel I feel like I made progress with the house in Aruba, even though I spent a lot of money. I feel like I spent too much money on fun stuff. And I'm just not going to do anything fun this month and it'll be fine. And it like balances out a little bit. Because I would be okay, I think, with like 500 euros a month on fun stuff. But yeah, I spent like 1,000 on fun stuff, which is just too much, you know. So yeah. Okay, so that was like the summary of my net worth. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have a comment, please leave a comment for suggestions or improvements, or maybe you have questions. That would be great. And see you all next time. Bye.